Test is sponsored by We Are Wrestling. You can find
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie here, back with another episode of We Are Wrestling Talk Show with our co-host.
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins back in the building. 2 Sticks and Pure Rage, music reaction connoisseur, wrestling connoisseur. I'm looking forward to talking some wrestling, man.
That's right, and that's what we do here on the We Are Wrestling channel. And of course, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, you already know what you gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course, you already know, the grind is real. And We Are Wrestling, we are officially at 600 subscribers. How do you feel, Danny?
We should be. We're almost 700 technically. It's fucking nuts, dude.
1,000 by the end of the month, you think?
It seems very plausible. I will say that. We just got to keep on the grind, keep doing what we do. I think one thing that really is helping is your reaction videos, because the reaction videos, like when the show's still going on, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, what happened?" They're gonna be searching for it. They're gonna be searching for people's reactions, and I think you're fucking killing it, dude.
That's right. You got a finesse on YouTube, you know, with those search engines.
Exactly, but it's fucking helping, man. 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. It's gonna happen.
That's right. That's the goal, and we appreciate all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there going strong, continuing to support this channel and supporting the talk show, because we're just going to continue to deliver nothing but wrestling content. And of course, we got lots of freaking topics to talk about, because we are officially on the road to Wrestlemania, and now actually the road to AEW Double or Nothing.
I'm looking forward more to Double or Nothing than I am to WrestleMania, man. Doesn't even feel like WrestleMania. I had my WrestleMania at Revolution, okay? That was my WrestleMania.
Wow,
until Double
what
or
a
Nothing.
pay-per-view. That was so good. I didn't even watch Monday Night Raw live because of it.
I did, because I do my watch-alongs and I go live and stuff like that. So I did watch Raw. Nothing eventful really happened outside of Edge coming out and obviously Kevin Owens calling out Stone Cold Steve Austin. But we kind of knew that was going to happen anyway, so it wasn't that big of a surprise.
Yeah, same with Jeff Hardy. I feel like that was like the worst kept secret, but for good reasons.
The worst kept secret in the wrestling business, man. But it's so good to have our boy back home, man, along with his brother Matt. It's going to be awesome. We are going to be seeing them Saturday at Zombie Hideout, Springfield, Mass. So it's going to be awesome, man.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. They're actually going to be making their first non-WWE appearance at this local store that we go to. I go there to buy Funko Pops, and they bring in different wrestlers, horror actors, and it's going to be a really awesome time. Danny and I are going to get the opportunity to meet the Hardys again. And then, after the Hardys meet and greet, I'm actually going to be hitting the road to Albany, New York for Showcase of Legends on Sunday, where I get the opportunity to meet Trish Stratus, Britt Baker, Matt Cardona, and lots of friggin' legends, which is going to be exciting.
That's going to be awesome, man.
All right, so now are you ready for some quick takes?
I'm ready, man. Let's get this going.
Which, the last couple weeks, I feel like we haven't done the quick takes because, of course, there's been lots of craziness going on in the wrestling world, and it feels kind of weird not doing any quick takes. So, welcome back to Quick Takes. This is where Danny and I, we get 10 minutes and we have 5 topics to talk about. Are you ready, Danny?
I am ready, man. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Starting the timer. Bully Ray is set to appear on the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin. How do you feel?
I think that's pretty awesome. Stone Cold, he's had Jericho on there. He's had, Jeff Hardy on there. He's had, I think he had Edge on there.
And Mr. McMahon as well. He had on there as well.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of Steve Austin. Bully Ray, I don't have like Sirius XM radio or whatever, so I don't listen to Busted Open, so I don't really know what he has going on. Last I knew, he was a part of. Yeah, I know that part. But last I knew, he was doing stuff with Ring of Honor. That was a while ago, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he has going on.
Yeah, I think Bully Ray is going to be a great guest for the Broken Skull sessions. I think this is one of the best things the WWE Network has on their network, and I think having Bully Ray, who literally has no filter whatsoever, I think is going to make this interview pretty entertaining.
Absolutely.
Moving on now to our next quick take. Miro signs a 4-year extension with AEW. It will be going until 2026.
Miro, to me, is a perfect example as to why WWE does not know how to book talent. I mean, if you look at him from WWE to now, totally different person. You wouldn't even know that was Rusev if you weren't if you're only a casual fan and you don't watch all the time. He held the TNT title for 141 days. Last I knew, he's out right now, nursing some injuries or whatever. Having some time off.
Yeah, I believe it was a hamstring injury he got.
Yep. I definitely feel like he deserves it. Hey man, Miro, I can't wait until he comes back, man. It's gonna be fucking absolute chaos.
I'm excited to see what they do at Miro. I think definitely if Tony Khan is signing Miro to a 4-year extension with AEW, he has big plans for him. Yep. He had a great dominant title run with the TNT Championship, and I feel like Miro is going to be one of their top heels and hopefully a world champion in the near future.
Do you think him and CM Punk will feud? That'd be a good.
I think that potentially definitely has lots of potential of being CM Punk's next feud. I feel like Miro, he's been gone since, I believe, Full Gear back in November. I definitely see him coming back pretty soon and maybe starting a program with CM Punk. I feel like that would be a perfect rivalry.
I don't think if he wasn't coming back soon, Tony Khan wouldn't have signed him to an extension already. He would have waited until he was a little bit closer to getting back in the ring. So we could be seeing him in a matter of weeks. I definitely think we'll be seeing him before Double or Nothing. That way he can have a feud going into the pay-per-view.
And I think that would be really good. So now, moving on into our next quick take here. Vader is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022.
Couple years too late, man. It's good. It's good that he's finally getting in. But I remember everybody saying that before he passed away, he used to go on social media and Twitter and stuff, and pretty much beg, I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. And it just sucks that they waited until after he passed away to give him this honor. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. I could just sit here and do nothing but talk shit about WWE, but I mean, he's getting in the Hall of Fame. It just sucks that they waited.
Yeah, and I think so far this class is really good with Undertaker and now Vader into the Hall of Fame. I think
they have Psycho Sid going in too.
Psycho Sid? I heard something about that, which I feel like he just definitely deserves it as well, but hopefully he actually shows up to the Hall of Fame, because I know he misses a lot of appearances and meet and greets. But Vader getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think that this is well deserved. We know Vader did not have the best WWF run really around the time because of the Clique, obviously, with Shawn Michaels being the way that he was. But Vader was such a dominant force in WCW, and just in general, he had a really good wrestling career. And I'm glad that we're finally going to be able to honor him into the Hall of Fame.
In a way, Vader was almost I don't really want to compare him to the Undertaker or whatever, but he was that nostalgic. Back in the day when Vader was around, even if you weren't
good for his size.
even when you weren't a wrestling fan, you didn't watch all the time. You knew who Vader was. He had that about him.
Yeah. And also, his son was actually a really good wrestler as well. I believe his name was Jake Carter, I believe. It was in FCW. He had actually a really good tag team with Corey Graves in FCW.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know why
awesome.
his son decided to stop, but yeah, Vader getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, well deserved. Moving on now to our next quick take. Former UFC star Paige Van Zandt is all elite.
Yeah, we saw her sign her contract last night. I thought she already did. She maybe already did do it, but they wanted to have that part of the whole segment last night when Sami Zayn obviously lost the TNT title to Scorpio Sky, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. I don't know much about Paige Van Zandt, but I'm looking forward to seeing what she does. Maybe she can maybe she gives energy and some, realness to the women's division.
I think that AEW is very smart for this signing. I think that she brings something different to their women's division. And, like, I feel like she has, like, star potential with her, like, with what they've done so far, having her, like, set in the crowd, and then her attacking Ty Conti because of course, Sammy Guevara's rivalry with American Top Team. I think that this will make American Top Team a little bit more serious with having Paige Van Zant, who had a really good career in the UFC. And I definitely think that there's lots of potential there. She has, I believe, over 3 million followers on Instagram. So she's definitely going to be bringing some popularity and some mainstream over to AEW, which they desperately, I feel like, need.
Yep, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does, man. Could we possibly be seeing a future AEW Women's Champion?
Will she be better than Ronda Rousey, though, in the ring?
We're gonna have to wait and see, man. Obviously, she's setting up a feud with Tay Conti. Hopefully it'll lead to a match, and we'll be able to see what she can do in the ring.
Oh yeah. So now our last quick take for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. Braun Breaker. There are reports that he is going to be heading to the main roster.
Yeah, more than likely after Mania. I don't watch NXT. I'm not one of those guys that just watches it because he's a wrestling fan. I barely watch WWE. The product is just horrible. But Braun Breaker dropped the NXT title to Dolph Ziggler. I saw on social media, and I heard LA Knight is possibly going to be going to the main rosters too after Mania. So I think they might be going up around the same time.
Yeah, I definitely see LA Knight getting called up right after Mania. He had a really good match with Grayson Waller from the highlights I saw. But
Grayson Waller is one of those guys, like, they gave him the world and he pretty much did nothing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my thoughts about Braun Breaker getting called up, I'm nervous because Braun Breaker, I see so much superstar potential in this guy. I see a future main eventer within the next 2 to 3 years with this guy. But if he's booked properly, the only thing that's missing with this guy is his name. He should be having the Steiner last name.
They changed his name from Rex Steiner, which I think Rex Steiner, that's a fucking killer name. And to Braun Breaker. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, which I will say, like, Braun Breaker, I really see, like, being a top friggin' main event guy if he's booked properly. And I feel like the way that they have built him, I feel like with this main roster call-up, I feel like they're either going to fumble it or it's going to be a touchdown. And I feel like with Braun Breaker, because of him, like, even, like, just getting that shitty name, Braun Breaker, and still making it work, still looking like a main event star, cutting promos, reminds me of Scott Steiner, the way he talks. And, just everything in general, I feel like he could be a main eventer. And I think they're not going to mess this up.
How do you think his main roster career is going to go? Because last I knew that Scott Steiner had a lot of bad blood in, like, backstage or whatever. Do you think they'll possibly take it out on Braun Breaker?
I don't think so, because I know when he won the NXT championship, I believe his father, Rick Steiner, was actually there. And I think that. This is actually kind of good, because they are on good terms, I believe, now, the Steiners and WWE, because of
I know they weren't for a while.
And I think, like, this as well, I think, like, him getting called up to the main roster, I think it's a little too soon. And I'll give my take a little bit more on the Dolph Ziggler thing when we get to that.
Okay.
But Breaker should definitely be on NXT a little bit longer. Alright, and that is this week's Quick Takes. We are back from our Quick Takes. Before we get into this week's topics for the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, let's talk about Dynamite a little bit, the best show of the week. What were your thoughts on it this week?
I think the show was really good, man. It just goes to show, like, all these guys all these people who aren't AEW fans, they're always quick to jump and be like, oh, MJF and CM Punk are the ones that are getting the ratings for Dynamite and this and that, and, AEW's not that good. They weren't even on the show this week, man. After the dog collar match at Revolution, they needed a week off. We got some debuts. We got to hear from William Regal as to why he decided to join AEW, the better wrestling promotion. He said he was no longer required at his other job, if you know what I mean. We got to hear from Wardlow.
That
Wardlow
was
is,
so cool though to hear from William Regal and like Tony Schiavone reuniting after all those years.
dude, it
That
sounded
was
like
so
William
cool.
Regal was gonna cry, man.
Yeah. As you were saying.
We got to hear from Wardlow as to why, he decided to turn on MJF and pretty much turn babyface. And it's Warlord's world.
Man, that promo was so good. Like, I knew, like, he had the it factor, but, like, after hearing him cut that promo, this guy, like, has it.
Yep. Somebody in my live stream last night, because, I live stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday
Manny
night.
H Vlogs, check it out.
Yeah, check me out if you guys want to join the watch-alongs, man. But somebody in my chat last night was like, "You only like Wardlow because he's in AEW. If he was in WWE, you would think he would be a waste of time." And I'm like, it's not necessarily that. If he got poorly booked in AEW, I would say he was fucking useless too. It's not just because WWE does not know how to book talent. They do not know what the fans want.
It's all about timing, and they really perfected the timing of this Wardlow turn. And now we get a really awesome program pretty soon with MJF and Wardlow. And
I'm looking forward to it.
I think him not giving MJF the ring was a great way to start.
Yep, gave it to CM Punk, and CM Punk just nailed.
But now, what
MJF
the hell
right in the
happens
face.
with the Pinnacle, though? That's what I want to know, because obviously we saw FTR break up with Tully Blanchard, and Sean Spears has been nowhere to be seen.
You want to know? It's kind of crazy, and I didn't think of it this way until now. The Pinnacle and the Inner Circle both broke up the same night, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on the Sammy Guevara thing, because my opinion, I feel like Sammy Guevara should have been out there to help, even though I know a couple weeks ago he walked away from the Inner Circle, but still, we're going to forget about everything that they did since the first episode of Dynamite. Like, I feel like they just completely, like, are leaving us with questions, and people aren't, like, really calling AEW out on that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get some answers at some point. I mean, I would like to know what's actually going on.
I wanted to see Jericho and the new Jericho Society screw Sammy Guevara in the main event. I feel like that would have made more sense.
Sammy Guevara screwed himself by doing that 450 splash to a table.
And that right there, that was an uncalled for spot. Like, I thought, like, with tables, like, you can't go through.
But Sammy Guevara, he's like, I'm crazy.
Yeah, but there's rules that they gotta follow. Hey, we always call WWE out on the bullshit. Like, I have to call AEW out.
I feel like it was pretty much
necessary.
I feel like it was pretty much necessary because if Sammy Guevara never did that, I don't think Scorpio would have had a chance in hell at winning the TNT title legitimately. And I do know they took the title off of Sammy Guevara, put it on Scorpio Sky, and I believe Scorpio Sky is going to be dropping the title next week to Wardlow.
Ooh, you actually think that? I don't know. We'll see about that. I think that MJF makes his return next week and screws Wardlow.
Who knows, man? We're gonna have to wait and see. I think it's such an interesting time to be a wrestling fan, man.
I agree.
I'm so thankful for AEW.
Man, that match too with Dante Martin and Hangman Adam Page, that was so good.
Dude, Dante Martin, man, he's only 21 years old. That kid has the fucking world by the balls, man. That kid is so good.
Yeah, if Tony Khan's signing extensions to people, he better get that guy on his books until 2035 or something.
His brother Darius is really good too.
Yeah, and I would love to see them win tag team championships in the future.
It's gonna happen. Could you imagine Top Flight versus the Hardys?
That would be a fun match. I would love that.
Sting versus Top Flight. Sting and Darby versus Top Flight versus the Hardys triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. Are you like so all the fucking dream matches that we could have, man?
I know, and I really hope AEW doesn't fumble it, because they got a lot of talent, and like sometimes when you get a lot of talent, you lose out on opportunities. WCW did it for a while. They could have had so many dream matches and they never like capitalized on it.
Yeah,
Especially
but
when Bret Hart friggin' left the WWF and went to WCW. Like they should have definitely capitalized on that momentum.
yeah, but like I told you, I think a week ago or a couple days ago when we were doing our Revolution review, I said let Tony Khan do what Tony Khan's got to do. He hasn't let us down yet.
I
And
agree.
I mean, the dude, Tony Khan is not only a businessman, he's a wrestling fan, man. I mean, he recalls going to the ECW arena and watching, Tommy Dreamer and all these guys. Like, he loves this business. He's a fan just like us. He just happens to have a lot of money and he owns a company. You know what I mean? He knows what we want. We're just gonna have to be patient, man. Tony Khan's not gonna let us down, man. You gotta have faith in him.
Hey, I agree. And one thing that has not been a letdown so far is WWE 2K22. I actually just got the game. I was playing it yesterday when I wasn't feeling good, and it's pretty playable for once. Because usually the games are filled with glitches and usually horrible.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it. I was gonna get it, and then I would decide to wait because there were some people that were saying that it was all glitchy and it wasn't that good of a game, and it was pretty much the same thing as 2K20 or whatever it was. So is it worth getting? I was thinking about getting it
I
and
I'm not gonna lie to
streaming
you.
it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's worth it. I've had no issues with the game so far. I haven't really played the online, but like the graphics look amazing. Like the just in general, like the game so far, like from what I've heard and stuff, like it's been playable.
Have you played story mode at all or my GM or anything?
My GM I have, it's pretty fun, but not like SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah,
Still pretty
just
fun though. And I think you could still do it like 2 player and stuff. Maybe we'll have to do it sometime for a We Are Wrestling video. If you want to see that, let us know in the comment section below.
I'm
But
down.
now let's get into our topics for this week. So we're going to start off with a WWE topic because, of course, that is Danny's favorite wrestling company out there in the entire world. He has a poster of friggin' Vince McMahon right in front of him that you can't see
I have
because
a
he's
pi-
embarrassed.
I have a poster of Vince McMahon jerking off. That's how much I love WWE.
See, this is why I don't tell people shit.
WWE wants Cody Rhodes to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer noted, so here's the situation. Obviously, WWE wants him for WrestleMania. Time is running out. I think we have 3 weeks until WrestleMania. So, I know there's Raw on Monday in Jacksonville. If he's going to be at WrestleMania, it would make sense to debut in Jacksonville if they have to deal with have if they have a deal which we don't know about. If he's not there, I would assume the deal is not closed because that's the date they wanted him for. So as far as we know, he had the stuff set up for WrestleMania and it was off the board a couple days ago. Talks are still going and I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I heard that the talks between Cody Rhodes and WWE fizzled out a little bit, and I heard that he was on the WrestleMania dockets, and then he got taken off the dockets or whatever.
I
Maybe
heard
that's
the ball is
because
in his court now. That's what I heard.
I don't know. Part of me still feels like maybe he'll end up back in AEW, but I don't know. Like he knows what he gets in AEW, and he knows what he gets at WWE. If he goes to WWE, he's not going to have as much freedom as he did when, to go off and do TV shows and movies and whatever, take weeks off at a time or whatever.
No
In
more No Big Show.
in AEW, he had that option. So, I mean, part of me doesn't want to think that he's going to sign, but who knows?
Here's what I think about the whole Cody Rhodes thing. I still think we're getting no Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania. I feel like that they're keeping it very, very low because what they want to do is have Cody Rhodes return the night after WrestleMania. Because usually it's filled with debuts and surprises. Even though the
Yeah.
last couple years it's been kind of bad, but
WrestleMania has been bad. The last good WrestleMania was like 33, in my
yeah,
opinion.
but now with the full crowd though, actually at Raw, I think that this is going to be we're going to definitely get some surprises, I think. And one of them I feel like will be Cody Rhodes. It would be nice to see him face Seth Rollins, but I don't see it happening.
To me, Cody Rhodes is, like I said, man. Like, I understand he's a big deal to a lot of people, but Cody Rhodes to me is one of those guys. Like, if he's not on TV, I sort of forget he exists. He's not like, a main event top tier guy to me personally. I never really cared for him, even in AEW. Like, he was there, cool. It was cool to see him. I liked the match that he had with his brother. But like when he took weeks off at a time or whatever, I just sort of like forgot he existed for a little bit.
Yeah, like in the beginning of his AEW run, it was so good. And then I feel like as soon as he lost to Chris Jericho, where like he couldn't go for the world
He
championship,
lost his momentum.
he lost that momentum. And like he had a great feud with MJF and they put on a great match. But after that, it's like, what did Cody Rhodes really do besides that really good dog collar match with Brody Lee? I feel like it was just very blah.
That's what he's known for, because that was Brody Lee's last match. So he's always gonna be known as the dude that faced Brody Lee for the very last time in a dog collar match.
I'm just curious to see what Cody Rhodes does because, like, I'm tired of these reports. I just want to see something happen. I don't think he's going back to AEW.
I mean, what if he talks? He's probably weighing his options, man. He's probably in talks with Tony Khan as well as Vince McMahon. What
Control
if
your narrative?
No, but like, what if maybe he gets put in charge, like creative for Ring of Honor? There's always that possibility. Like, you don't know, man.
Well, I heard what I heard about creative and Ring of Honor. I heard Tony Khan is still going to be the booker for it, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, but if he was in talks with Cody Rhodes, being like, oh yeah, me and Cody are talking, Cody might be taking. Is he gonna really out that? That's gonna be one
That's
to
a
be held.
possibility.
He's gonna want to hold that as a secret, man. He's not gonna want to just out that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like you never know. I feel like Cody definitely knows that AEW, like, they keep signing these crazy talent. So the more that these bigger names are coming to AEW, the more Cody fizzles out. And I think that's why Cody is in this predicament where, like, he needs WWE more than WWE needs him. Because Cody, WWE, they are lacking a superstar. And I feel like this could be a similar push with Cody like happened with Drew McIntyre. McIntyre, was lost in the card when he first came to WWE. And then, of course, got released when he was a part of 3MB. And then he did a lot of stuff with
Impact.
the UK and Impact Wrestling, which led to him coming back to NXT as a whole different Drew McIntyre and now winning a WWE championship. I feel like this is something that I definitely could see happening with Cody Rhodes.
At this rate, man, anything is possible. We're just gonna. I mean, we're not bookers. We're not part of the creative team. We're just gonna have to wait. We don't have any inside information that nobody knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
or Cody Rhodes is just playing us. I think he's just enjoying his father time with his.
Somebody I don't know if there was Sean Ross Sapp or Dave Meltzer, but one of them they asked AEW and Cody Rhodes what Cody Rhodes was planning or something like that, and Cody Rhodes replied with a picture of him lounging on the couch with his dogs.
Yeah, I saw that. I feel like Cody's just playing all of us. I feel like he just wants all these reports and stuff, and then he's gonna come out of nowhere.
Everybody assumed that because when WWE was making their way over to Saudi Arabia for Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes was spotted at an airport in Poland. Everybody assumed that Cody Rhodes was taking a flight to Saudi Arabia.
To WWE confirmed.
So who knows, man?
Hey, we'll see. But now getting into our next topic here, we have an AEW topic here. Chris Jericho debuts a new faction, the Jericho Society, and he turned on his two former members of the Inner Circle, Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, man. It's the Jericho Appreciation Society. That was a good segment, man. Like, he reminds me of like old school Jericho. He's in shape now. He had the like long strangly hair now. Like, it reminded me so much of like the Attitude Era.
Which Jericho he does the best work when he's a heel, and of course when he has the attitude when he's not being goofy in comedy.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what it's just weird that he did partner up with 2.0. It's kind of
I
weird.
like it. I actually like it. 2.0 and Garcia have proven that like they could be regulars on AEW. Like I felt like they were always just like that needle like in the haystack when it came to like a wrestler. Like John
Yep.
Moxley is trying to focus on Eddie Kingston. Nope, he can't do that because 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, they want to get some TV time. So I actually really like the way that they were booked for quite a while, and I think definitely they deserve to have this push. And I think with Jericho, a legend like him, he is going to elevate them. And I feel like they're going to only just get better.
We're gonna have to see where they go with it, man. But I've always been a fan of Jericho. I do think he does his better work when he's a heel. It just seems more like Jericho. You know what I mean? He spent majority of his WWE run as a fucking heel when you really want to think about it. Remember when he took the Jericho 5000 and put Shawn Michaels' face to it?
Yes, when he wore the suits and had the short hair.
He's done majority of his wrestling,
So
his pro wrestling
underappreciated.
career has been a heel. So he does his best work when he's a heel. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like the only thing I don't like about this whole group is the name, the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's
I
funny,
I kind of
but
like it because it makes Jericho seem like he's full of himself. Like these guys worship the ground he walks on. That adds to the heel persona and his gimmick.
you know what would have been really cool? If they named the group the Inner Circle 2.0, because get it? The tag team 2.0. I know it's probably like they probably didn't want to go with that approach because a lot of people do that. Like if
Yeah.
you have a faction, then like you just take people out and you still keep the faction. Like of
Can we just
course, like for example, like the Nation of Domination. You had them at first all coming in, and then eventually like you add like Owen Hart to it, and like then the Godfather, and like it was just it was very off.
Yeah, man.
Like, I feel like the Jericho Appreciation Society, like, that makes sense. That's a good take. But I don't know. The name, I feel like, is just a little lazy. They could have
Like I
definitely
said,
came up with something a little more creative.
oh yeah, and the list isn't lazy. Look, I mean, he fucking the list. I mean, that shit was so fucking over, dude. People still probably
Oh, the
shouted
list was
at him.
great. The list was great.
We're just gonna have to sit back as fans and see how it plays out. I do think it adds a lot to his heel persona because it makes everything that they do revolve around him. You know what I mean?
I agree. And this was like the most I've seen Hager do something, too. Like, he actually looked really freaking good in this because Hager, like, as a face, like, he can't be a face. He just can't. Like,
Yep.
Hager's just a badass. Like, he just needs to kick people's asses.
He's a
That's how he
badass
looks good.
UFC guy. Wasn't he considered like Jericho's bodyguard in the Pinnacle or the Inner Circle?
Yeah, he was Jericho's go-to. I think that this has lots of potential. I'm really happy about Daniel Garcia getting the spotlight now because he's very good for a young wrestler.
Part of me feels like the Jericho Appreciation Society. Part of me feels like they're gonna end up feuding with Danielson and Moxley. It seems very
Yeah,
viable. Maybe
I can see that happening.
maybe Eddie Kingston joins Regal in them. I mean, it's always that possibility, man.
And I like the combination too of 2.0. I feel like they have lots of chemistry together, and it's cool to see them go from like being like nobodies to NXT to like being like these like outgoing, arrogant pricks. I
Yep.
actually really like the way that they booked them because they weren't even supposed to be like a regular on like AEW. They were just supposed to just be in there, get their ass kicked 1, 2, 3. But they made it work, and for me, I think they deserve every bit of this.
I'm looking forward to seeing, how far they go with it, man.
All right, so now moving on to our next topic. We have lots of new champions this week since we last filmed the talk show.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to start off with the new champions. We have from SmackDown, Ricochet. Ricochet defeated Sami Zayn and won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, they did that because I feel like Sami Zayn is gonna be booked to lose to Johnny Knoxville, and WWE didn't want to be that company that gives Johnny Knoxville a world title.
Dave
Um,
Arquette. Dave
so
Arquette.
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense because they were jobbing Ricochet for months. They were putting him with having him face Ridge Holland or Sheamus or whatever, and just jobbing him out, not really doing much. And all of a sudden, they give him the Intercontinental Championship. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I feel like Ricochet winning the championship is a great thing because I do not want to see Johnny Knoxville winning the Intercontinental Championship. That championship is way too prestigious for a jackass to win the championship.
No pun intended.
Ricochet, he definitely deserves to have a championship run. I feel like he's been so misused since getting called up to the main roster, and it's time that they really put the rocket on him and see how far he can fly.
Yeah, definitely. We're just gonna have to wait and see, man.
Yeah. Now on Monday Night Raw, RK Bro won back the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Again, it's the only thing that really made sense. They wanted the titles off of Alpha Academy. They knew they were. I knew they weren't going to put the titles on KO and Seth Rollins because Kevin Owens
Yeah,
is
that was
going into
obvious.
WrestleMania with the whole Austin thing. You know what I mean? So, and apparently they want the tag titles to be on the Mania card. So it's legitimately it's the only thing that made sense.
I'm disappointed that Alpha Academy lost the championships. I feel like they had lots of momentum the last few weeks, and they were really starting to make the Raw Tag Team Championships so prestigious. And I don't know, RK Bro, I'm happy that Randy Orton's having the time of his life, and I love Riddle, but I don't know, I'm just over the whole RK Bro thing. I want the rivalry to happen.
Yep.
And they were
I
already teasing it a little bit too.
Yeah, but now, Randy Orton hugging up on Riddle and being like, I don't really have friends in this business. This is my best friend. It doesn't look like that's going to be coming down the pike anytime soon.
Unfortunately not. Now on NXT on Tuesday night, Dolph Ziggler defeated Braun Breaker and won the NXT Championship.
Does anybody legitimately watch NXT, though? Do you watch NXT?
I watched the highlights of NXT. At first, I was watching it weekly, but then with more content and stuff, I just lost time.
It's pretty much pointless. I haven't watched NXT in months. The last legitimate NXT event that I watched was Vengeance Day, and I didn't know who half of the people were. I don't watch NXT or anything like that. But they put the title on Dolph Ziggler, took it off of
Yeah,
Braun
that's what I was
Breaker.
going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how do you feel about a main roster guy holding their developmental championship?
I feel like they did it because the NXT championship is the one championship that Dolph Ziggler never held. He held the world championship. He had the Intercontinental champion, US championship, multiple tag team championships. He's never had the NXT title, and they wanted to probably add it to his championship resume. That's the only thing I can think of. Either that
Yeah.
or he's doing more work with NXT. What if he gets drafted to NXT and they take Braun Breaker?
I don't know. I feel like him winning the NXT championship, it's a curveball, but a curveball that they probably shouldn't have done. I feel like that championship should be for young, rising
Yep.
stars like Braun Breaker. I feel like Dolph Ziggler is taking time away from them. I like him appearing on NXT, because it's putting people over and stuff, and that's a great way to do that. But him winning the championship, I think, is a little too much.
Do you think it opens the door for more opportunity though? Like more NXT stars will be like, if Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa and Grayson Waller, all these guys, if they have opportunities to have a guest spot on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, do you think that opens up the door for them?
Yeah, I feel like that definitely does open up the door, but I feel like Dolph Ziggler should be focusing on his tag team with Robert Roode,
I
the
feel
Dirty Dogs.
I have a feeling they're going to be breaking up the Dirty Dogs very soon. It just doesn't. They're not going anywhere, dude. Like they're a
Okay,
tag team
after
for
that,
what?
Robert Roode's got to come out to Glorious again.
Yeah, I like that song. But like, what are
Glorious?
what are they doing? They don't seem like they're going for the tag titles. The last several tag team matches that they've had, they've lost. Like, where are they going?
Yeah, I don't really know. But
I
now the
mean,
last. Oh,
they could
okay.
fight for the women's tag team titles. Like, it just seems more plausible that they'll win those.
The Dirty Dogs, the Women's Tag Team Championships.
I mean,
Okay, so now the last championship, of course, is not a WWE champion, but Scorpio Sky wins the TNT Championship on Dynamite.
dude, I was so shocked when this happened, but I feel like they had it that way because they're gonna have Scorpio Sky drop the title to Wardlow next week. It's the only thing that logistically makes sense because Scorpio Sky, him, Ethan Page, and Dan Lambert haven't been doing nothing but sitting. Every time you see them, they're sitting in the rafters talking shit. Like, why all of a sudden now he's champion? It's the only thing that logistically makes sense. He's gonna be dropping the title next week to Wardlow.
I love the curveball that they did there with Scorpio Skies. He's very good in the ring. I wish that we can see him more on television, just like Ethan Carter or Ethan Page. I would love to see them more on Dynamite instead of being up in the rafters, freaking cracking jokes, eating popcorn. I'd rather see them actually do more,
They were up in the rafters for fucking Revolution.
especially with Dan Lambert. Freaking that man can cut a promo for his life. And I feel like if there's anybody that can put these two guys over, it's Dan Lambert. Like I never understood the pairing of the group, but Scorpio Skies I think definitely deserves to have the championship. He's been with AEW since day one, and clearly Tony Khan and the AEW see something in him because I think it was last year he got a contract extension.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess in a way he deserves it or whatever. But again, back to what I've been saying all along. I don't want AEW to turn into another WWE to where, oh, this guy's been here for so long, let's give him a title. Yeah, he hasn't done anything to earn it. But I feel like it was only put on him as a transitional champion so we can drop it to Wardlow next week and
And you
possibly
see,
give Sammy Guevara some time off or whatever, like a couple weeks off because he seems like he banged himself up pretty good. Not only at Revolution, but last night when he did that 450 splash through a fucking table.
well, you see here, the reason why you don't see that Scorpio Skies like has done anything, and this is the problem I always say with AEW, it's because I guess he's been undefeated in singles competition now for like 364 days. And basically, he's only had 5 television matches since this title match. And Dark and Elevation, like if you're going to have these shows, you have to show the stuff for the regular viewer that's not tuning in on YouTube and that only watch it on TBS or TNT.
Yeah.
And I feel like the matches that he's probably had, they haven't really been competitive matches. I would understand if it was against regular AEW guys, like let's say Sky versus Seidel, or like Sky versus Lethal, Sky
Yep.
versus Atlas, or Sky versus Keith Lee. Like basically, these matches are probably against a lot of them were independent wrestlers that basically just put him over, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything if you don't show the matches, if you don't really show. And that's the thing that's missing with wrestling is vignettes. And they
Yep.
could do that with Scorpio Skies in this
I
situation.
feel like WWE. I think wow. I must be really tired. I just almost complimented on WWE for something they don't even do. AEW, man, I feel like they're really good with vignettes. They're really good at putting together,
Yeah.
pre-match packages and stuff like that. It, like I said, man, it reminds
They
me of
they
like
are
old
they
school
are, but they
WWE.
need more. They are, but I feel like they definitely need more. Because I love the build-ups. I love the Road to Dynamites. Those are so freaking good. I wish like they would actually show it on TV, some of these build-up matches.
Yep.
They're incredible. So now, moving on to our next topic before the main event topic, Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold.
Yeah, man. Kevin Owens it's been stated for weeks, man. Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw this past Monday,
Texas is
called
done.
out Austin. And Austin replied Tuesday afternoon with a video. And, you know, Kevin Owens woke something up inside of him that he's had buried for 19 years, I'm actually, this is one thing I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing what Austin does. Maybe it's a match. Maybe it's only a Kevin Owens talk show or whatever. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I want Stone Cold to have a beer bash. Stunner some motherfuckers, have a beer bash. I mean, that'll really make it feel like WrestleMania.
Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people are looking forward to the Stone Cold thing. I am, obviously, because it's Stone Cold. He's a legend. But the way everybody was hyping it up, like it's going to be a wrestling match, this and that, I don't see that happening at all. Because I already know the spoiler that's going to happen. Kevin Owens is going to have the Kevin Owens show. It's going to be all set up. And then Stone Cold comes out. Kevin Owens is probably going to kiss his ass because Stone Cold's in front of him. And then next thing you know, they're going to share a beer together. Stone Cold hits the stunner. That's it.
I mean,
Which we've seen a lot, but it's still cool to have a Stone Cold moment. But I was kind of hoping for maybe like one of those like maybe unsanctioned matches, like similar to Shawn Michaels and Triple H at SummerSlam 02.
but I mean, I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to wait and see. People are still saying that it's possibly going to be a match. That Steve Austin, signed up to be in a match. I don't know, man. I know just as much as you do.
Yeah, and it's very confusing. I really hope it's not just the Kevin Owens show and then they do like the whole Kevin Owens kissing his ass and then hits him with the stunner. That's it. I want to see more
Yep.
because of the way that they're hyping this up.
Yeah, I want to see more too. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but like I said, they have the Brock and Roman match that they've been heavily promoting that is going to be a unification match. It's not going to. People need to stop. It's not going to be a unification match. WWE has already stated that they don't see it. They don't see it feasible to have only one champion in the modern era. It's not going to be. They're going to drop. Brock's going to drop the title to Roman. And I guarantee you, the next week on Raw, they're gonna give the title. They're gonna have like a tournament, or they're gonna award somebody else the title. They're gonna always have two champions. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Here's what they should do, in my opinion. I think that like you can keep the Universal Championship the way it is, but after they unify the championships, give us new world championships. It's time. It's time to move on from this generic ass championship and make a prestigious looking world championship.
I could
Because
see that happening.
let me say this. I think that Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar at Mania.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
They definitely want Roman Reigns to have 1,000 days as the champion. Easily.
And Brock Lesnar is probably going to be off TV for a while, probably till SummerSlam. He still has like a year and a half, 2 years on his deal or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to suck not seeing Lesnar as much. That's going to make me kind of sad.
Apparently his gimmick now is the legit him. That's how he is.
I absolutely love it. But just in general, like when it comes to the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold thing, like I really hope that like it's something special because this is the perfect time that they could really take Kevin Owens to a whole nother level here.
What day was the WrestleMania that he retired? The WrestleMania 2003.
It was WrestleMania 19.
Well, I know
so that was 2003.
What day was it though?
What day?
Because I was gonna say I was gonna say if it was like 19 years to the day that he retired, maybe they would have do something kind of special.
Because what would be interesting?
What's up?
I know a lot of people want to see Stone Cold just hit him with the stunner and that's it. But that what would be really cool? I would love to see Kevin Owens give Stone Cold that power bomb, like on that part of the ring that's like the hardest part. Because I feel like him taking out Stone Cold at WrestleMania would really take Kevin Owens to the next level. Well, obviously, they're not going to do that.
It took place. It was damn. One day apart or 2 days apart, man. March 30th, 2003. I was gonna say if it was like some kind of like sentimental, like this was like the exact day 19 years ago that he had his last match, I would have said maybe they'll do something special. They can't do the powerbomb on the ring apron. Stone Cold has a lot of neck issues, and
no,
it wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, hey, we obviously already know what's gonna happen though. Stone Cold's gonna hit him with the stunner.
I'm just curious to see. Maybe it does turn into a match. Maybe it turns into something else. Maybe we see. Maybe Austin becomes a regular on Monday Night Raw for, at least a couple weeks.
That would be
They
really
should
cool.
they should bring him in for get rid of Adam Pearce and bring him in to be the GM for Raw or SmackDown.
At this point, anybody but Adam Pearce. Seriously.
I don't know if I told you this yet, but I stopped watching SmackDown. From now on, on Fridays, my watch-alongs are gonna consist of Rampage. I'm not doing SmackDown anymore.
You made such a great decision. I am so proud of you.
I know. Give me a birthday cake. I need something. I need a treat.
Yeah, no, you made definitely the right choice there. So now let's get into our main event topic, which you already know. You're ready to talk about this, and you know I am. Jeff Hardy is all elite.
The worst kept secret in the wrestling business, man. The worst kept secret. Right. We've been waiting for it for weeks. We didn't know when it was going to happen. I was actually fighting with somebody on social media, as dumb as it is, because I made a post or whatever saying that, Jeff Hardy could possibly show up on the 9th or whatever, and this guy decided to comment back and say, no, that's when his contract ends up, but he's not able to sign anywhere until the 10th. And obviously, this guy was a Jew bag and didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I've been telling you for weeks this was how he was going to play out. They were going to have the Hardy family, the Hardy family office or whatever. They were going to take out Matt, kick him out of the group, and then Jeff was going to come down. Had no idea about Darby and Sting. But I think I've been telling you this for weeks. This is how the whole thing's going to play out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what's going to happen here with Jeff Hardy. I feel like they are going to book him really good in AEW. I think him coming back with his brother Matt, with the Hardy Boys, especially in the stacked AEW tag team division, is going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see what they do from here on out, because I would love to see one match I really want to see, and I think a lot of people probably just aren't thinking about this match. Private Party versus the Hardys.
We already know who would win, but that'd be a good match.
You know that Matt, he loves Isaiah and Mark Quinn, and I think that would be such a good way to put them over.
Definitely.
By going against the Hardy Boys.
That would be awesome. I don't know, man. This whole thing it gave me chills last night, dude. Like, now all AEW needs to do at some point is sign the Briscoes.
Yeah, which could happen anytime, I feel like, at this point.
Because they're Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Tony Khan is the owner of Ring of Honor. You're going to have Ring of Honor without the tag champs?
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes down to, the Hardy Boys and stuff, I feel like they're going to put on great tag team matches. I definitely want to see him face FTR.
Could you imagine the Hardys versus Red Dragon?
Red Dragon would be another good match. We need a Young Bucks and Hardys again. There's a lot of fun scenarios. Plus, I would love to see Jeff Hardy do some single matches, because I think a match with Hardy versus Darby Allin, that would be a dream match right there. Imagine that for their pay-per-view All Out or something.
Imagine if Jeff Hardy was still in his prime back in his 20s and he fought Darby Allin. Jesus Christ, dude.
Man, I might have to play that. I might have to play that on WWE 2K22. Download Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy and make a fantasy match.
So great, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I do hope that he gets booked properly, obviously. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I feel like he's too big of a talent just to, sign him or whatever and then do nothing with him. But they do want the Hardys together. They have the Hardys theme music. Apparently WWE didn't own it. They only licensed it. So Tony Khan, as the smart businessman that Tony Khan is, he licensed it. So
that's really good also for mainstreaming as well.
Yep.
Because of the Hardys coming out to that song their whole career mostly. I think having that is going to be you're going to see an older person and they're going to be just maybe they're not into wrestling right now. They're working a 9-to-5 office job, and then they just go on their TV and next thing you know, duh, 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 and then they're oh my God, I remember that. So with Jeff Hardy, I feel like there's a lot of really good scenarios that can happen. I feel like this whole Hardy segment that happened on Dynamite, the whole family office, everybody's just like, all right, just bring Jeff out already. We
Yeah.
already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, everybody was chanting Jeff, 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 Jeff. Jeff Hardy actually has an autograph signing tonight, man. And it's gonna be
Yo,
streamed live online. It's gonna be probably 4 or 5 hours long on Signed by
imagine how awkward
Superstars.
that must be for like all those wrestlers in that ring during that segment. Because the whole crowd is probably like, where's Jeff? Jeff Hardy. And then they're all have to like go with like the storyline. Like, okay, now we got to get Matt out of this family office thing so he can reunite with his brother. I
Mhm.
feel like it was definitely the worst kept secret, but it's so good to see Jeff happy and all elite.
Oh man, he seems like he had a good time, and like him and Darby Allin were sort of having a stare down a little bit.
Which I think is good too. That would be a fun match to watch.
It didn't seem like Darby Allin wanted to hit Jeff or whatever. It was just really he really played it off like he didn't know. Obviously he knew, but unless it legitimately was a secret, and just like at WrestleMania 33, they had him in a trailer and out back or something like that, away from everybody, and he didn't come out until the last split second. So maybe he didn't know. Well, who knows?
Hey, you never know. But now, what should AEW do with Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys?
I would like them to have a good tag team run. I would like to have them at least have a good tag team title run. It just maybe take the titles off Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. That'd be a really good match as well. But I wouldn't want to do it right away. I want them I'm a huge fan of the Hardys, and I understand they have a name or whatever, but they need to prove themselves here. This is totally different than WWE.
It's a different ball game.
I wouldn't want to put the title, and it'd be smart, and I don't think the Hardys would want that either, to where, just because they're the Hardys, we're going to put the tag team titles on you. Like, they probably want to earn it. They want to, have the respect of everybody there, even though they already do. I would TK needs to book them very, very smart.
That's like what I'm hoping out of this. I really want to see lots of dream matches with the Hardys. One match in particular that I feel like would be a really cool Dynamite match would be the Hardys versus the Acclaimed. I would love to see what Max Caster would say on the mic to the Hardys.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. I feel like the Hardys, what they definitely got to do is have these great matches with them right now, and then probably have them start a feud with FTR to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think with FTR right now, just, being lost in the shuffle, not going for the tag team championships, I think them going against the Hardys and a classic for maybe Double or Nothing would be really good.
Yeah.
And then eventually, we can get Hardys versus Young Bucks and Red Dragon, and then maybe eventually going for the tag belts. But I think FTR is the perfect team for them to start feuding with.
Yep. Definitely. We're just gonna have to wait and see, man. I'm so looking forward to next week and seeing what they do.
Every week for AEW is always exciting because next week I believe we have 2 championship matches. We have Wardlow and Scorpio Sky, and then
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in a steel cage match for the women's title.
Yeah. So
I think Thunder Rosa is gonna finally get one up Britt Baker and get put on the title.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that wraps up this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. You think so?
I think so, man. Let's wrap it up.
Alrighty. So if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, the best way to support the channel is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow Danny over on his Twitter and Instagram, and also his Reaction YouTube channel and his Watch Along channel. The links are down below. And of course, you can go follow me over on my social medias, my Twitter and Instagram, and also my 2 other channels, DBTV, Nothing But Basketball Content, and Best One Network. The links are all down in the description below. And of course, you can go follow We Are Wrestling over on Instagram and Twitter as well. At We Are Wrestling. The links are down in the description below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling maniacs out there worldwide, thank you for tuning in, And of course, you already know, we are taking over. See you next week.